Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today I have the story for you. This is definitely one you're not going to forget anytime soon. This story is an email that was sent from a subscriber. He is in his early 40s. He's a husband and father. He describes his marriage as truly being amazing on so many fronts. Fantastic relationship with the wife, all these great things. And oh yeah, by the way, they happen to be swingers. Yeah, you heard that right. And he goes into his whole thing and describing of her and how they met and everything. It makes it abundantly clear that before they got together, particularly in her youth, his wife was a complete HOE. He says this, had numbers that would make your mouth drop to the floor, would partake in activities, again, that would make your mouth drop to the floor, and yet those two got together. He turned a HOE into a housewife. Now you're all like, what the hell are you covering this story for? Well, it's interesting because you're going to see this dude, he also engaged in a lot of activities himself when he was younger, so they actually made it work. And this story is very interesting, how they got together, the lifestyle they have, and how they're able to make it work, even though it's something I wouldn't partake in or think is a good thing for most people, but in their situation, they make it work. Now, and this also backs up a lot of things I talk about, how if you're ever going to engage and partake in that lifestyle, you got to have two people that are 100% on board. You guys have heard many of the stories I've covered on the different channels, how it's usually the woman that brings these things up and blindsides the guy. And the only way it's ever going to work is if both are into it. And the only way it's going to work with these gals that really got involved with the devil's work at an early age, the only way it's ever going to work for them to find a guy is if it's a guy who's equally engaging in those activities. So I'm going to go through his story here. You're not going to forget it anytime soon. I could easily get on the other channel, but since he wrote to me here, I figured I'd do it here. Oh, and by the way, he's going to admit that when he first found my channel, he didn't like me very much. Thought I was full of crap. But then he started listening to the stories, and he changed his mind. So it says here, Dear SSM, I started watching your channel 2 months ago. And if I'm being completely honest, when I first watched your first video, I rolled my eyes and figured this is just another crap channel with some loser who doesn't know what he's talking about. He says, brother, I have to say I was completely wrong. Well, man, I respect that you can admit that you're wrong, and I respect that you're being honest here. You're not the first to have written to me and said they thought I was a total douchebag when they found the channel, but then learned, guess what, this douchebag in the car actually knows what he's talking about here. I mean, think about it. I wouldn't be here for 5 years and have the subscriber count and the views and all that stuff if, I mean, come on here. After the second video, I found myself just nodding along with everything that you're saying. Everything you say makes complete sense. I'm addicted to your channel now, and I find myself nodding to every word that comes out of your mouth. Even to the point to where I'm starting to implement some of your advice into my 15-year marriage. Well, good. My marriage is great, but there's always room for improvement, so I just want to say thank you. Well, bro, thank you for watching and giving it a shot and not just leaving without actually listening and all that. Shows you got an open mind. I want to share my story with you because it's different than your normal stories on your channel. It's about a woman, my wife, turning her life around, now to the point of the post. Yes, she definitely, turned things around in certain aspects, as you're going to see. Let me start by saying that you're going to smack me a lot. So rest up that arm because you're about to put it to work. 17 years ago, I reconnected with a young lady that I went to high school with on Facebook. We were both 24 years old at the time. So starting off, let me give you some background information on my wife's history. She didn't try to hide anything from me. She was very upfront from the very beginning. Stop. There ain't no way you got the full picture. Come on here. But clearly she told you a lot. Says here, my wife is a nurse. Smack. Well, that's going to explain some things as we get on to this. He says she works from home for a major insurance company now, but she's still a registered nurse. In the beginning, my wife told me the following. Okay, so when they got together at 24 years old, reconnected, this is what she told him. Laying your cards on the table right away. She told me that she started having SCX at a very young age, around 13. Here we go. By the time she was 18, she had a body count north of 50. 50, bro? You mean, okay, by the time she was 18, so when she was actually 17, 50 dudes? Now, nobody here is buying it's 50. You said north of 50. So how far fucking north of 50 are we going? Like 150? But it's a lot of dudes at 17 years old. My friend, she had some problems that, I mean, just, come on here. She had done multiple G-bangs at random parties by the time she was 18. She told me the minimum amount of guys at any particular party was 7. But she had no idea how many guys were at some of the bigger parties because she didn't or couldn't count all of them. What the fuck? How did you not run out of that restaurant or bar or Starbucks where you met her when she was laying things out without screaming? Without your ears burning or your something burning? I mean, holy shit, dude. This is messed up. Oh, we're not done yet. She had 3 small children with 2 different baby daddies by the time she was 20. So she's massively irresponsible. I mean, nothing against the kids, but what the fuck? Who were her parents? What the fuck? You got to understand why I'm reacting like this, as well as all the guys are going to be reacting here. She slept with multiple bosses from different jobs. There's a stereotype. She was the boss at one of her jobs and literally fucked a large amount of people underneath her. Well, obviously they were underneath her. To the point that the new hires had bet on who could fuck her first. My wife told me that she found out about the bet and ended up sleeping with both of the guys. Wow, he says, now as I'm typing this out, I just remember there was a rumor back in high school that she was effing a dog. I didn't think much of it at the time, just some high school rumors. But now that I just remember this, I should ask her about that tonight. Bro, tell me you're not going to high school reunions when you walk in there and they're like, oh, there's Jessica. Oh, we know Jessica. Even though you're about to reveal, I know okay, I let it go in the beginning, you're both swingers for obvious reasons. And you yourself certainly got down and dirty with the ladies, so this is the only way you two work. Still, walking around with all these dudes knowing that they, with your wife. I don't even want to imagine a high school reunion walking in the door like, shit, there's Jessica. Oh, yeah, Jessica. But okay, it's your life. I'm gonna say now, SSM, so you don't have to. My wife was a big hoe, and that's being kind. See, he's saying it, so I can say it. To be honest, I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I personally have been with well over 130 women, so I have no room to talk nor judge. This I know was when a lot of you guys are going to say bullshit. Guys, there are Chads out there. And they bang a whole lot of chicks. And clearly, now remember, if a woman gives you a number, triple it. If a dude gives you a number, divide by 3. So he said 130, we're talking about more like maybe like 43, if my math is right. But the point is, this dude has been around the block. And the only way that I can see is 2 working, if that was the case. That being said, let me continue the story. I'm going on the basis, and you know what the funny thing is, guys? A lot of stories I've covered over the years, like, I actually, because I've obviously read this whole thing, do believe this dude. And I'll explain more why in the end. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, why did he even consider dating this woman and then decide to marry her? Dude, there's a whole lot of things I'm asking myself here. Well, to be honest, I didn't have much going on at the time. I was a single dad with not much money, and my apartment lease was about to end. I literally flipped a coin to decide whether or not I would move to North Carolina from Virginia to be with her. It landed on heads, so I packed up my small apartment and made the move with my son. So notice he said at that age he didn't have much going on and not a lot of money. That sounds like a Chad. At the time, my wife would drive 4 hours every weekend to be with me, and she was the one that was adamant that we belonged together. She told me that she fell in love with me and wasn't going to take no for an answer. Well, maybe because she met her match, that you guys were very much, into bedroom action. My wife/girlfriend at the time told me that she knew we were supposed to be together and that I was her future husband. Well, she set her sights on you. To be honest with you, SSM, I knew this as well. It was something about our relationship that neither of us could describe, but we both recognized we were meant to be together. What couldn't you describe? What, syphilis? Jesus Christ, please tell me you were checked out before you know. The two things that attracted me to her was that she was an excellent mother to her kids, and she was the smartest hoe I'd ever met. Does she know you're saying this shit? Anyone that talks to my wife for any length of time realizes how smart she is. For 15 years, we've been happily married, and we're about to celebrate our wedding anniversary next month. Well, happy anniversary. You definitely have an interesting story. In the beginning, my wife and I had nothing. We lived in a double-wide trailer with rundown vehicles and 5 kids total. So, she had 3, you had 1. I guess you had 1 together then. Over the course of those 15 years, my wife and I both went back to college while we both worked full-time jobs. I'm a precision machinist, and my wife works at a major insurance company in corporate. She's the person that the CEO and the leadership of this major company knows on a first-name basis. Oh, I'm sure they know your wife on a first-name basis. Many dudes know your wife on a first-name basis, dude. Bro, I can't help myself. I cannot help but make jokes this entire fucking story because, well, duh, obviously. He says here, she is the person they come to with charts and graphs and data and ask for her advice on what they need to do to ensure their profitability for the next quarter. My wife has been responsible for rolling out and leading major programs that have been benefited people across the United States. Yes, your wife has definitely benefited people across the United States. Again, my wife is extremely smart, and that is one of the things I found very attractive. We now live a very comfortable life, making good 6 figures. We were able to buy a beautiful 2-story home on a 3.5-acre plot. That sounds cool, man. We were able to buy all our kids very nice vehicles and provide college funding for them. We are debt-free and save a few $1,000s a month. My wife recently bought me a fully loaded Denali truck, and I do mean fully loaded on top of the line. She even bought me very expensive rims with the tires. Did those rims come with rim jobs, dude? Well, bro, it sounds like you got a great situation. You're in your 40s, debt-free, you're doing well, kicking butt. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Still, well, I would have handled things differently. My wife is very big on putting in the work physical and mentally to improve and keep our marriage healthy. Oh, I'm sure, I would imagine she'd be good at putting in the physical. I think that'd be kind of a requirement, given her background here. She makes a crap ton more money than me, but she's never let that impact our marriage. She is my wife first, and I'm her husband, and she behaves in that manner. She never uses terms like, that's my money, or I can do what I want. Well, that's good to hear. You know, a lot of times when women make more money, they get a big fucking ego and attitude towards their guy. She obviously respects you. That's good. My wife has dinner on the table every day, and when I come home, and is the kind of mother that any man would be thrilled to have for his kids. She even took in my son as part of her own, to the point where my son calls her mom. Well, that's awesome. Okay. She works from home, you're away, so of course she can have dinner on the table and treat the kids great and take in your boy. That's awesome. Sounds like, okay, the super hoe phase, but then she settled, or in one form or another, and she's been a seemingly loyal and good wife to you and mom to the kids. But I'm going to address now in the middle of this video the thing we're all thinking here. How in God's green earth can she go from her childhood, teenage years, 20s, to switching it off like a light switch and being loyal and true to you ever since? Nobody here is going to believe that's possible, and neither am I. I mean, I just don't buy it unless there's some outlet for her to get off, hence the swinging, which we'll come to in a moment. But anyhow, from the very beginning of our relationship, my wife made me 2 promises that she has kept. 1, we will never argue about money, and we'll do whatever we can to give our kids the best and most important and healthiest lifestyle that she can. No fighting, no yelling, and show the kids what a healthy relationship looks like and have a home full of love and respect. I would have added a 3rd promise there, like I promise not to cheat on you and continue on doing the shit I was doing before I met you. But, you know, those 2 are nice promises. I gotta wonder if your wife came from a family that was seriously fucked up. Hence, you know, her childhood years, teenage years, high school years. Because a lot of this usually comes from that. Maybe that's why it's so important to her to show the kids a very loving, healthy, supportive, good marriage. Maybe that's it. He says, so SSM, I know what you're thinking. Brother, you can begin to imagine what I'm thinking here. You're thinking this poor dumb fool, his wife is probably still a hoe, and she's probably cheating on him behind my back constantly. The thought did cross my mind a few times. He says, I'm no fool. I trust my wife, but I verify everything. Over the years, if she told me she had to do something or be somewhere, I would ride by there just to make sure. I have and still do periodically check phone record apps and all social media to ensure that I'm fully aware of what is going on around me. Well, that's good you do that and trust but verify. But the question is, have you been doing this all along because given her background you don't trust her, or it's just a policy? In 15 years, I have never caught my wife in a lie, not one. Then you're not looking hard enough, because all women lie. I don't care how fucking sweet and amazing she is. There's been lies in there, dude. Not even something small or insignificant. As far as I'm concerned, she has never lied to me about anything. My wife doesn't have any signs of a cheater. She doesn't hide her phone. She doesn't care if I go through her phone, emails, texts, or messages. She's never prevented me from going through anything. Matter of fact, we have an open phone policy, and we have all our passwords for everything we own written down in a shared book, so we both have full access anytime we want it. Well, that's great, man, and it's obviously she's trying to demonstrate and all that, but it's not impossible she could have another phone somewhere. I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but it happens. My wife works from home, and she never leaves the house without me because she simply does not want to. I give my wife the freedom to go as she pleases, but she simply does not want to. She always wants me with her no matter where she goes. Okay, that's interesting. No babbling on about girls' weekends and girls' trips and book club and candle club or anything like that. Okay, that's good. You and your kids are her top priority in life. That's awesome. But again, we all wonder, how could she go from, the teens and 20s and how she was to all of a sudden switching it off and being mom and wife and just you? Well, we're coming to that. In 15 years, my wife has only went out twice with her girlfriends. They come to her house a lot. And both of those, they went to a comedy club, and she was back home by like 10:15 at the latest. I know you say to watch out who your wife hangs out with, and this is great advice. My wife has 2 girlfriends. One is her best friend that I've known since I was 14, and she's a very good woman. I like her a lot. And her other friend is her church friend that is married. Aha, at church. So am I then to believe your wife is a regular churchgoer? Was finding Jesus a way for her to, get married, settle down, be a good, loving, loyal wife and mother? And JC helped her realize I was a little crazy when I was young. Honestly, SSM, life has been great with this woman. She got a mommy makeover 2 years ago, and she looks better now than the day I met her. And our sex life is still great. It better be great after her childhood. Shit, dude. But that's awesome. That's good to hear. Hell has gotten better over the years. She's freakier now than she was when I got with her. That is a very hard thing for me to believe. But a lot of women definitely get quite freaky as they get older. We travel and go to swingers parties, and we've been known to have occasional threesomes. And that doesn't surprise me, and that is why this works. Right here. I want to know how long you've been swingers and partaking in all these group activities and all that. Now here's my question, and you have to ask this yourself. If it was just the 2 of you and there was no swinging, and I don't know how often you do this or how long you've been doing it, would she still be able to keep it under control and be just with you? It's a very important question. I have a hard time believing. This is the only way I can believe this story is actually true and you can make it work and she's that loving and loyal to you based on her past, that you're swingers. And that way she can get it out of her system every so often. And I know you don't take it personally and you have fun and everything like that. This is not a lifestyle I would think is very healthy, let alone as parents. And by the way, please tell me you don't bring this shit home to your family and kids. Please tell me you do everything to cover this up so your kids don't know. Goodness sake. But anyhow, this is how I think she's able to keep the beast at bay, if you will, until she can let it loose. We work out every day, meditate, do yoga, ride like 7 to 12 miles on our bikes on the weekends, and life with her keeps getting better every year. Dude, if you're happy, I'm happy, but still, this is just would be the life for me or most guys. My wife is the type of woman that when things get hard, she stands beside her man. Given your wife's track record, when things get hard, she's right in front of her man. My wife is the type of woman that when the car breaks down, she doesn't walk away from you. She will get out and help you push, then help you come up with a plan to fix the problem. Cool. A few years ago, I asked my wife why did she give up her hoe tendencies for me, and she responded with, bro, the fact you keep calling her a hoe cracks me up. She responded saying, and he's paraphrasing, this isn't word for word, but this is the gist of what she said to him. She said to him, first of all, I love you and wanted to be with you. Secondly, I know the type of man that you are. You would never allow me to cheat on you, and you would never allow me to play those type of games. The first time I would try to do something like that, you would shut that nonsense down immediately. In other words, she's saying to you, I respect you. You'll check me when I'm getting out of line. She said, so I knew the very beginning never to try it. That was the problem with my first husband. She says she could get away with murder. That man would allow me to do anything I wanted to do. I could do what I wanted to do, and I could speak to him in any way I wanted to, but with you it's different. You wouldn't allow me to misbehave and get away with that nonsense. There you go. She respects you, And again, it helps that you were quite active in your youth just like her. That's the only way this thing is fucking working. Not to mention the swinging, because otherwise I would not see it possibly working out. My wife then followed up with the following. Again, this is the gist of it. He says, all the men in my life only wanted me for my body. You're the only man that saw me for something more and decided to invest in me and my kids. Oh, I'm sure you were thinking about her body, dude. I look around at all that we have accomplished and the beautiful life we have. I'm so thankful because I couldn't have done it without you. That deserves loyalty, and I don't care about what other man is talking about. I've been there and done that, and it's out of my system, and I know they want to love me and be there for me like you will. He says, honestly, SSM, my hoe to housewife journey touches on a lot of the fundamentals that you preach. My wife changed her ways basically because she saw strength, and she knew she had to get her shit together. It's like you say that when a man puts his foot down, he will get the respect he deserves. For the record, I will never want nor recommend anybody to take my path. I just got very, very lucky. The end. Well, dude, that was one hell of a story, and I will not forget that ever. And I will say this, and to be perfectly honest, if you're happy, I'm happy. It's not the life I would choose. It's not the life I'd recommend in any front. And if you didn't have the notches on your belt that you did, in a million years, this would never work. It's only working because you were also quite active, if you're being honest here, like her, so you're both the same. And also wouldn't work if you weren't engaging in the swinger lifestyle. I don't believe, because people that are like that much when they're younger, they got, and look, dude, I think your wife had some issues. Absolute fucking issues. And you too, let's be honest, you had that many numbers that early on. And both of you guys kind of came together because you were kind of the same. I question about her family life, her background, and all that, because come on here. But if you getting together truly helped her get her shit together, and she's been a great wife to you, loving and loyal, and a good mom and all that, great. But I still want to go to any fucking high school reunions because they all know Jessica, or whatever the hell her name is. And so that's quite a story. Now, again, I question, if you weren't doing swinging, would she be able to keep it at bay? I have a hard time buying that. I think that is the only way it's able to work and get her freaky out, and probably for the same thing you too. But anyhow, man, just keep having a good time. If you guys make it work, wonderful. But I had to cover your story because it's definitely unique and different, and fuck, I couldn't resist. But again, keep that away from the kids. Please don't record anything, get stuff on social media or any of those websites or whatever, because it's never going to change. Please tell me you don't do OnlyFans or anything like that, and keep it with each other. But holy cow, that's been an interesting one. But the fact that you obviously got a sense of humor, and so does she, if you keep referring to her as obviously the hoe and blah, blah, blah. But, well, different strokes for different folks, as the saying goes. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I know I can count on you to comment down below. And let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you got a story to share, no matter how fucked up it is, definitely send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.